thought I might do a little painting. I'm going to do it in acrylics, and you can maybe see, you might not be able to see, I can't tell from this angle, my little screen doesn't show me too much on the camera, but I've drawn some little sketches of this scene. It's two parts of two different pictures I've got. Now I want to do autumn. My photographs show bluebells in the wood. So we'll see what happens. It might be sort of autumn bluebells. I don't think there is such a thing. Anyway, so that's my basic first outline sketch, and now I've got to go and find some acrylics and start painting, basically. I've been sitting here thinking, drumming my fingers, and I think being texture girl, I think what I want to do is add some texture to this. So I thought I'd have a look, see if I can just add texture to the trees. It's not going to be easy, but apart from anything else, I can also put a very faint, well, not faint, but light coat down here, and that will help disguise the leak through from a previous page. So I like the idea of the texture being on the trees, because trees are very textural when you feel them, aren't they? So that would be very appropriate. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll come back when I've done this. You don't want to sit and watch me just go scrape, scrape, scrape for hours. Okay. Just doing a bit of... Done the plaster on here, and I've dried that one. So now, use the heat gun to dry it. Now I'm going to put some on this one. This is the most important one because I've got a lot of texture on here. Oh, I wanted to take a photo. That's what I got up for, take a photo. Because if I don't take a photo, I'm going to obliterate what I've done with the pencil, and I won't have any idea what my plans were, will I? So, we take a photo. Oops, preferably without that on there, although you won't be able to see anything here. It's only this one I want to see. But I have taken video of it after I'd finished doing the pencil drawing, I hope, and before I put the plaster on. So hopefully that should be okay. I better turn this off for a second. Here's me putting some more of the grunge paste on the trees. Now I use grunge paste on the trees, but I haven't got a lot of it in that pot, as you can see, so that's why I used heavy carvable modelling paste on the rest of this picture. So I'm hoping to get good texture on here. Start out with it smooth and then try putting the actual texture in the places I wanted it, because on the image this particular tree had some patterning going down right in the centre of the trunk. I hope to be able to re-insert that later on when I get to the painting. It's just, maybe I should speed this up a lot more, because it starts a while, but I'll just show you this one tree and then I'll speed the rest of it up. It's me trying to get the texture in, but it doesn't work very well with the palette knife, so I'm going to put it in painting. I'm just finishing off putting a heavy carvable modelling paste by Galeria onto this. Now I've done the trees earlier, you've seen that. Then I went over and did the path. Now I'm doing the gaps between the trees and the path where leaves and so forth will probably be. Well, we'll see. I may end up turning that into a river, not a path. Okay, well, this is my last little bit I'm putting on. I haven't lost my little palette knife. No, you don't have to use a palette knife. You can use a credit card and just, you know, cut a bit off to the size you want. You know, sort of piece like, maybe a piece like that, and just use that bit. Did I? Meantime, back at the ranch. I've got it on there, got it on there, and there. Haven't got it on here, and I haven't got it on here. So those are the last two little bits, I think. Yeah, it may not look like it, but I have actually got it on there. You can feel the texture, and in any case I can see it's not as shiny as it was without it. So, last bit here. Now you see, you can see with that one, well, maybe you can't see, but I can see where I've put where I want particularly tall grass to go over this path. So if you put it thin, this heavy carvable modelling paste on thin enough, you'll be able to still see the drawing underneath, because there's places where I can't, where I wanted thick modelling paste on this bit there, this tree trunk, and I had some marks where I wanted particular shapes of texture. Tough. That did not show up, because of course I wanted a thick layer of texture for the tree trunk. So it doesn't really matter if it goes over a piece you've already done, you just scrape it flat and that's fine. Because if there's any little gaps in your textures, there's an opportunity to fill them up. Well, sometimes a little bit will flake off. Well, not flake off exactly, but perhaps you didn't go over it strongly enough and the little pieces didn't actually adhere to the paper. Because it doesn't flake off. It's not that I found anyway. I mean, it might flake off here at the hinge where I've got it trying to disguise the pink. Not failing. But there we are. It's because it's a combination of wanting a really thin layer and wanting to disguise the pink that's leaked through from another page. Not work, but never mind. We'll go over it with acrylic paint, so that won't cover it up. There we are, that's the last piece. I'm trying to also keep it a smooth layer, because I want to be able to paint in smooth strokes if possible. And of course I won't be able to do that on here, and that's the reason for putting it on thicker and trying not to get it smooth. I'm trying to get it bumpy. Right, now I'm putting the last little bit of modelling paste, heavy carvable modelling paste, onto the background. The last bit of the woods through the trees. I've done the trees, I've done the path. See, that'll probably crack now that I've got it connected there. See, while I've been doing this, everything else, apart from this piece here, everything else has, I mean, I started with this bit and it's solid now, so I don't even need to use a heat gun on it. I've only been using a heat gun to just sort of seal the top surface, because I don't want to try drying it out completely with a heat gun, because that wouldn't work. So we don't immediately touch the area you've only just finished doing. You knew it. As I was. Just trying to touch this little bit up. Probably got my head in the way, sorry if I have. If I haven't, lucky you. Yes, lucky me if I haven't. Don't like it when things go wrong, who does? a little fix. Just got a little tiny area to touch up here. But there's no need for you to watch. So I'll probably cut that out. And then I'll go, there we go, all finished. And it will be miraculously finished. Or video anyway. That's what I was doing, wasn't it, that bit? Only I noticed that there was a bit here that needed a little touch up. That'll do. Anything else is just going to be added flavour. Right, next, all I've got to do, I'll go over it with the heat gun just to make sure the bits I've just done aren't going to suddenly pack up on me when I'm in the middle of painting. That would be very clever. But otherwise, all I've got to do now is the acrylic painting. So, there we are. That's how far we've gone so far. Okay, see you later. I'm now going to begin painting. Let me get that. Making a splodge. I'm probably going to need a fair bit of this. In the way of my quite a bit in the way of my head. There we go. You know when you stick your head there and you go, can't see, that you realise, isn't it? I have in front of me the sketch of this before I put the modelling paste on. And I'm using Elephant. Fresco chalk acrylic. That's probably enough for one tree. I'm not going to make you watch it all, but I'll come back and do detail when this is dry. But I love this texture actually. It's doing exactly what I hoped it would do. Giving me tree bark texture, or possibly tree bark with plaster texture. But anyway, texture that can be imagined as tree bark. I think that's fantastic. Probably need a second coat, certainly if I'm going to put any more detail into it, which I will. So I'll come back when I've done a few more trees, because you don't want to watch just painting the same tree. It's boring. Okay, see you later. Just getting to the end of the trees. Well, the end of the grey layer anyway. I'll go over it with other colours. And I'll stop every so often and turn the camera on so you can see how far I've got. But you wouldn't want to watch the whole thing. It's boring. Even speed it up, it can be a bit boring. So, I'm not going to be so self-indulgent. And hopefully not as forgetful. I'm just forgetting to turn the flipping camera off. Going to run out. See it coming. It's almost here now. Stage of run out. There we go. Elephant. That's what I'm using. Just give it another shake just to be sure, because it'll probably settle a bit. Quite a long paintbrush. It's awkward because it's right near my lump shade, which I want to show you so that it will allow you to see what I'm doing, otherwise it'll be a bit dark in this corner of the room. But I keep banging my paintbrush and my paintbrush on it. I'm also going to lift this up because I don't want to put grey on a green page, the one behind that is. Because I've got it upside down at the moment, so it doesn't look quite right. That's simply because I can then reach this bit of the book, journal, page, paper, painting, whatever you want to call it. There we go. A little bit extra on those too. I've got to turn it right way up so I can see what I've missed. Bound to have missed something. I always miss something. I'll need some slightly darker paint and some slightly lighter. I'm not doing this in realistic colours. At least, I don't appear to be at the moment. I don't know whether I want to go sort of purples and blues and greens, or whether I just want to go purples and blues and greens but keep it natural. Or just go reds, russets, autumny colours. Don't know. Just using up this last little bit here. It'll all be souped up tremendously fast and you won't see a thing. So streaking past it. There we go. Right, now what I'll probably do is go over this as a background so that I've got something to think about. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that bit. I mean, I've got the picture I'm taking this from is a photo I took of a wood with bluebells in it. I can't remember whether it was down the bottom of the garden, because we've got one down the bottom of the garden, or whether it was the one with my friend, where my friend lives, called Hill House Wood. Hill House Wood was absolutely drenched in bluebells. It was gorgeous in May. Always is. Lots of people come see it. So it might be that one. It's quite possible. In fact, the path looked like that. I haven't got the picture up at the moment, so I can't check, but I'll get it up in a moment when I'm doing that, because I next want to do some, I want to do the colour, then after that I next want to do the markings in the trees. Okay, see you later. Now here I'm going to start adding colour, or brighter colour, to this already prepared image. As you can see, I've done the trees, I've done the leaves in the top of the picture, and I've done the, it's not actually grass in the bottom half, it's actually the leaves of the bluebells. So I don't want to pay too much attention to that, because I'm not having bluebells, I'm having autumn leaves, so it's just a green covering, a slightly different tone, slightly different hue to the colours in the top half. Now both bits are going to be completely changed into autumn colours. As you can see, I'm starting here with, I think it was London Bus and smoked paprika and banana. No, it wasn't banana, it was Tangerine Twist, that's right, Tangerine Twist. Now here I'm painting a white area because one of the images I'm using as an inspiration source shows not sunset exactly, it's more like sunlight through mist, and it's this beautiful, very pale, very bright yellow, but it's a yellow that's so light that it's almost white but not quite, on one edge. So, and it's casting a light on the trees, making them shine red. So I'll be doing that later as well. I think I'll probably just cut this and show you it later on because it's going to be so boring just sitting and watching these colours going on. But you can see how they're going on here, and I'll stop it and roll it a bit later. Right, and now you can see that I've got more colour in here. Even though I'm using the same colours to put the effect of fallen leaves all over this canvas. It's not canvas, it's journal page. Even though I'm using the same colours, because I've got a different colour underneath, the path is a brown and the green areas are obviously green, you do see a difference in the effect. Even though I'm using the same colours, the same three colours to dot all over to make the autumn leaf effect. Anyway, pause for later. I'm liking this. It's coming. It's got a long way to go yet, but I haven't got anywhere near enough detail in. Can't see that end, can you? Trying not to knock over my pot of water. Anyway, I'll rearrange things when we get closer.